Good morning, Bande Matram. Welcome all of you. The topic we are going to choose from thoughts and glimpses. Very brief discussion we are going to take from thoughts and glimpses exclusively on supernatural. So, Sri Aurobindo quotes, it is everything from almost from Sri Aurobindo. Very short discussion will be there. It will be in brief, but very encouraging, enthusiastic, very important because it is Sri Aurobindo who is giving us his thoughts and impulses. So we are going to see in the initial phase that is on supernatural. Life is supernatural to matter. Very interesting. Life is supernatural to matter. Second, mind is supernatural to life. Life is supernatural to matter. Mind is supernatural to life. Ideal being supernatural to the being. Then comes your infinity being supernatural to ideal being. So here initially Sri Aurobindo quotes of the four things. Life is supernatural to matter. Second, mind is supernatural to life. Ideal on the third page, being supernatural to mental being. And finally, we see infinity being supernatural to ideal mind. So, to man is supernatural to the animal, and God is supernatural to man. So, six steps, including up to God, from life to God. I'll quote it again. Life is supernatural to matter, mind supernatural to life, ideal being supernatural to a mental being, infinity is supernatural to ideal being, so man is supernatural to animal, and the God is supernatural to man. So these six pages we listen here. These are the all on story of the supernatural, starting from life till we are reaching God. So again, Mother Sri Aurobindo quotes that man who is as soon as he is assured his natural existence, must insist on his upward movement towards God. That is the great thing, because he has been emerged not from here, from in the lower hemisphere, from God, from the animal, but thing is that he has in the process of involution he has come from the top. Now he should try upward movement towards the God, must insist on his upward movement towards God, the upward movement towards heaven, not God, towards heaven, and the downward movement towards the hell. So Mother quotes, Sri Aurobindo quotes, as you know, man as soon as he has assured the natural existence, must insist on the upward movement. Here, the natural position, natural existence, from here he has to start his upward movement towards God, the upward movement towards heaven, and the downward movement to the hell. There is a option. There is option. Normally, people prefer the second. They are going to hell knowingly or unknowingly, because upward movement, it is a very high hill task to their thought and glimpses. They can't know how to move up like this, so they choose the second one towards the hell. Again, next step and next thought, Sri Aurobindo goes forward. By yielding to nature, normally we do, by yielding to the nature, we fall away from the both from nature and God. It is a very disaster in our life, in our movement, in our, it is a turning point of our life. So by yielding to nature, we fall away both from nature and from God, and by transcending it, by yielding to and this and transcending nature, we at once fulfill the possibility of the nature and rise towards God. See, very technical and tactical observation by Sri Aurobindo. By yielding to nature, normally we yield to nature, we fall away both from nature and from God. Nobody can save him. We are ourselves unknowingly falling from both God and nature. But on the contrary, if we transcend the nature, we at once fulfill the possibilities of nature and rise towards God. So just imagine you want to yield to nature or you want to transcend the nature. Choice is between. By yielding to nature, we are running, we are falling far away from nature and God. By transcending nature, we at once fulfill the possibilities of nature and rise towards God. The human touches the first the divine and then becomes the divine. Very interesting, very great things here in the quoted. The human touches first the divine. Most of the time, people keep asking the question, how can we become the divine? That divinization is a must. First, you have to touch the divine, then one has to become the divine. Then Sri Aurobindo goes forward, because thou hast mistaken the instrument for the worker and master, because thou hast seeked to choose by the ignorance of thy desire thy own state, thy own profit, and thy own utility. So this is everything here in the course by mistake. By mistake we have chosen, and because you can't take exactly by mistake, it is also this is our ignorance. Anyway, here in the course, because thou hast mistaken the instrument for the worker, this instrument we have mistaken for the worker and master, not only worker but master, because thou seekst to choose by ignorance. That the point is coming. By ignorance you have chosen thy desire, thy own state, and thy own profit, and thy own utility, three things. Therefore thou hast suffering and anguish, and hast many times the thrust into the red hell of the furnace, and hast many times to reborn and received and retempered, until thou shalt have to learn thy human lesson. So by mistake, by ignorance, we have thought it the instrument, we have taken it as the master, worker. So what we are doing, because thou seekst to choose by ignorance, chosen by, initially it was mistake, then it is chosen by ignorance, thy desire, thy own state, desire is thy own state, thy profit and thy own utility. Therefore, thou hast a suffering and anguish. For this mistake, for this ignorance, you have got your suffering and anguish, and hast many times the thrust into the red hell of the furnace. Red hell of the furnace, many times we are thrust inside, and hast many times be reborn and received, and in three things: reborn, reshaped, and retempered, until thou hast learned the human lesson. So it is a process. Step by step we are going to be reborn, reshaped, and retempered, till we are learning, the man is learning a human lesson. And all these things are because they are in the unfinished nature. Everything is there. Whatever you, this ignorance, this mistake, this reshaping, this thirsting inside, suffering, anguish, everything was purely and clearly seen due to thy unfinished nature. Again, Sri Aurobindo puts forward, and another way Sri Aurobindo tries to quote the upward movement. Again, that upward movement and the downward movement we have discussed. The upward movement, then we have seen towards heaven, the downward movement towards hell. Here, Sri Aurobindo quotes again, the upward movement is the means towards fulfillment. That is what choice is imperative, truth or abyss. You are standing on a path, and you are moving, not knowing where you are going. Suppose you are moving upwards, some possibilities there. You are moving at least in a very steadfastly or slowly. You are moving up. But if in the slumbering state you are going down, then gone. From the downward path you have to recover and come to the same point, and there, from there itself, you have to start your upward journey. Time simply is a great factor, and you are losing your time and patience. So upward movement means towards fulfillment of existence in the world, and this downward movement, that is a destruction, hell, and the perdition. So you know upward moment here you are going to feel your existence. You to means towards fulfillment of existence in the world. When you are in the downward path, it is clearly you are moving towards destruction, hell, and perdition. Again, we are going a little bit forward to know Sri Aurobindo, not to be immersed enmeshed and bound by nature, not to hate and destroy her. On nature, we are Sri Aurobindo course. Most of the time we do, and we maybe this is our ignorance or due to our ego anyway. It is done. Not to be immersed, not to be enmeshed, and bound by nature, not to hate and destroy her is the first thing we must learn if we would do would be complete yogins, and that is the characteristic very important. um, that is the characteristic of means yogi. So what is the characteristic of the again Sri Aurobindo tries to explain, not to be immersed, not enmeshed, bound by nature, not to hate and destroy her. This is the first thing you must learn if you want to be a complete yogin and proceed towards our divine perfection. First, you want to be yogin, and through this process of yogin, you have to perform your sadhana, and you will move towards divine perfection. Perfect and comprehensive yoga avoid limitation by aspects and leads to entire divinity and leads to entire divinity. So what is the way, what is the process? Perfect and comprehensive yoga avoids limitation. With the limitation you can't move, so that avoids the limitation by aspects and lead to entire divinity. That is a great thing. Mother Sri Aurobindo then quotes, if you keep the limited human ego, again, if you thou keepst the limited human ego, and of course thinkst thyself the Superman, thou art but the fool, thy own pride, fool of thy own pride. Here, two contrarieties are mingled and kept in a single place. One in one place that limited human ego, and that with this you feel that I want to become a superhuman. It is nothing but foolishness, fullness of thy own pride, and the plaything of thy own force, and of course instrument of thy own illusion. So this is only somebody, some like he is swimming in the fog mist. So like this is the thing you are going. This is like a daydream. So what Sri Aurobindo tries to explain, keeping the ego, limited ego, and thinking of superhuman, it is nothing but foolishness. You are playing with thy own force, and third thing, the instrument of thy own illusion. You are packed with illusion. There is no other go, there is no other option before you. So finally, Sri Aurobindo quotes, tries to quote here: "If thou canst not be the slave of the mankind, thou art not fit to be the master." So first you have to become the lamb, God's lamb, then only there is a possibility of becoming the God's lion. So here also same thing Sri Aurobindo in same way explains, if thou canst be the slave of mankind, thou canst be the master. So first you have to become the slave, then only you will be the master, and this is, you will be reshaped, you will be transcendent to the master. And finally, Sri Aurobindo is having a beautiful observation. Only to those who have a true humility will the power be given. This power can't be contained by all. The minimum base criteria is humility. If who have people who, those who have only those who only to those who have the true humility will get the power. This power will be given to those only who are having the true humility. Thank you. Bande Matram. Pranam.